Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Karl Wickman speaking. Today I will be showing you the brand new Heat Pump Ultra. This is the Ultra, and this is the old Pro version. So, what makes it different? What makes the new version different from the old version? Then I'm going to show you how to use the interface and how to program a simple routine. I'm hoping to do this in one take, but you will have to apologize if I stumble. So let's look at the back side of the old Pro version. As you can see here, it has a pressure release button, and it has DC input and DC output. And the way this worked was that you would just plug in the power source of your vibrator, and then you would plug in the vibrator here, and each cycle that this pump did, it would switch on and off the vibrator along with that cycle. But the new version does not have that. So if we look at the next slide, this is quite different. It still has the pressure release, and then we have something called the release pressure. And we have a DC output, and as we can see here, it's considerably lower wattage. It's 12 volts and 1 amp max. And the reason for this output is not to control a vibrator. This output is made to switch your heat pad, your near-infrared heat pad. So this one does not control vibrators the way the old one did. So while we're still on the backside here, let's just look at this. This is the here's the suction part. Here, of course, is the on-off button. Train, centering the machine. Okay, let's look at the interface. What makes this one different? Well, the knob here on the backside, what it controls is what I call the drop pressure or the pause pressure. So if you're doing some kind of interval pumping, between each interval, you can either drop to 0, here it says release pressure 0, or you can set it to use whatever release pressure you have set here. And this isn't it doesn't say here on the backside a certain release pressure. This is mechanical in nature. This isn't digital, so it's sort of just an analog adjustment of the pause pressure you would like to use. So you would sort of have to feel your way through that. Okay, so what else makes it different? Well, the new version here, it has 9 memory presets from M1 to M9, and the old one only had 3 memory presets. It also has a more elegant, I have to say, vacuum meter. The old one was very hard to read, whereas this one is very exact, very nice to read. Here, by the way, is the button where you turn on the DC for your heat pad. You turn it on and off. Otherwise, you might connect other things to the heat pad also. Otherwise, it's up to your imagination to think what that could be. So let's switch that up. Right. So, what makes it different then? Apart from that, from the V2 and from the Pro version, I should mainly say that so the difference between the Pro version and the V2 is basically only this. The V2 was made by taking this Pro version and just stripping away the DC output and input. Okay, so back now to the Ultra version. So let's program some kind of session that we string together. So the way sessions work is that you can just select. So let's say I want to start with an M2, whatever I have set to on the memory 2 preset. I want to do a memory 4, I want to do a memory 5, and I want to do a memory 7. Now, this is the program that I've programmed the device to do here. So when I press start here, it will work for 20 minutes, and it will just cycle through M2, M4, M5, and M7, whatever I have activated there, in alphanumerical order. And if I want to make it go several laps around, so to speak, I can just increase the total working time here. So if I set this to 40, it'll do the whole program twice. Okay, so resetting that. Let's see how we store things on this device. So I'll build a whole routine here from start to finish. So let's start with programming memory button 1. So I want to start a session very gently. Let's say I want to start the session at 5 inches of mercury. And I want to do that for maybe 3 minutes as a warm-up exercise. I don't want any vacuum maintain time. I don't specifically want any release time. I just want it to hold this pressure for 3 minutes, and then I set the release time to 0. Okay, so now I'm going to store this, and then I press the S button, which means store. And there it is. Now that's remembered on memory button 1. Okay, so when I press memory button 1, the pressure, the time, and the fact that we don't release, it's all programmed in there, and it'll remember that now on memory button 1. Okay, so let's program memory button 2. So after this nice little warm-up beginning here with 5 inches of mercury, let's say I want to do some milking. So milking for me, it's a pretty rapid exercise. I want a vacuum maintain time of about 5 to 6 seconds. I'll put it on 6. And I want a release time that is pretty short. So I can actually put it on 1 second this time. And I want to do this milking for, let's say, another 3 minutes. And I want to store that. This time, I do not want any release pressure. So importantly, I want to release all the way to 0. Okay, and I want to store that. There it is, now it's stored. Okay, so what's the first working set? Well, I'd like to start my first working set at 8 inches of mercury. And this time I do want the release pressure. And let's say I also want to start the electricity. I want to do it for 5 minutes. That's good. And I want a vacuum maintain time of 15 seconds and a vacuum release time of 4 seconds. Now I store that setting. Then after the 8, I want to do memory 4. After 8, I want to go to 10. Here again, I want a certain pressure to remain in the tube. I want to do this for 5 minutes as well. And I want to do for 12 seconds and a release time of 3 seconds. And the power on. Okay, that sounds good. Let's store that. And then on memory 5, I want to increase it to 14 inches of mercury because I'm crazy like that. And now I want a shorter vacuum maintain time and a release time of 4 seconds for the fluids to get pulled out. And I want the electricity on here. Alright, so let's just check that everything's remembered. Okay, as you can see, it recalls the power here. Okay, so these are now the the 5 memories that make up the total routine. So it's 3 plus 3 plus the 3 times 5, which is in total 21 minutes. A nice quick session for the evening or for the morning. And then you just start it. So there you have it. This is how you string things together. And of course, you can set all kinds of different intervals and pressures on these various memory settings, and you just string them together. Each time you want to start a routine, you choose which of the presets you want to use, and then you just hit the start button and off you go. Okay, so what else is new with this device? Well, I want to point out one important thing that sets it apart from the V2, that is the old Ultra version. What sets it apart from that one is that it's about 2 to 2.5 times as fast. It's a stronger motor, and I checked just now against a competitor device called the SmartTrack, and they're pretty much tied. I did a drag race between them, and both of them were able to pump the same cylinder in about 6.5 to 7 seconds. So it's pretty much a tie between them. Okay, so what else is different in the new one? Well, it has this feature. You can record your measurements, and I think I would assume that it makes some kind of calendar of that, and you can see your progress over time, but I do not know whether that is actually how it works. Because I will not be using it, I will be using my app, which is called Growth Track. Okay, so here we are. I hope this presentation of the Elite Pump Ultra will be helpful to you. And if you have any questions, just hit me up. I'm on Discord and I'm on Reddit. Cheers. Bye.